Hello and welcome to Papicock Podcast with your host, comedian Victor Pacheco. We got a really great show for you guys today. A very special episode with a new friend of mine I just met, but I've known him for a while, Mr. Marc Yaffee.
Old friends, new friends, man. Victor, you're like one of those guys I feel like I've known for years. You know, it's just kind of weird how some people you meet and you're just like, hey, this guy we'll be hanging again. And we've met three times.
Right, 3 times. And it's just like, dude, like every time it's felt like, yeah, old friend, we just met. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like, it's that type of vibe where it's just like, it's like like-minded people. And it's just like really like, good souls. And I was like really impressed with you, to be honest with you, because like I did a show at one of my favorite venues at Sally Tomatoes, and it was not in the regular room where they do the comedy at. It was like more like in the bar area, and there's still a stage there. And who I thought the headliner for that night, who was also a headliner, I thought he was the last comic. I thought you were just there just to like, I didn't know. It's like sometimes comics just come to support the show and they don't go up or whatever.
I thought I was just doing a guest set and things change. You said,
no.
You got to be ready. That's the one rule of comedy.
Dude, but the thing that was super impressive was that, dude, that was a very cutthroat crowd. Like the first comic who went up, they just the wolves just ate him up, and I was like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you hate that Mexican. I'm gonna make you love this fucking Mexican.
Right.
And so, but at any rate, like the show was getting progressively better, but like that crowd was fucking rough as shit. And I love that, like not that crowd was bad or anything. It was just like there was like different environment. There was no spotlight. It was just all the same light. Just kind of had like a restaurant as opposed to like a showroom.
This is why we get along, because we like that whole combat comedy. It's like I can take this piece of shit and turn this turd into a golden goose. You know, we like that challenge. It may not happen, but we're gonna give it our best shot.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and you're never gonna give up. You're gonna keep going. But I was super impressed because I was like, wow, like the guy who I thought was headlining, he did pretty good. And I was like, okay, that's the best this room can do. And then I was like, well, your headliner, Marc Yaffee. I'm like, oh, fuck. Then you went up there, you fucking schmurdered, beyond murdered, schmurdered, and it was schmurdered. And I was just like, holy shit. Damn, because this was the same crowd I just did, except they're way more fucking tired now. And so, if anything, you had a tougher crowd than I did because they were already tired by the time they came to you, and you just slayed them. And it was just such a cool experience. And I was like, didn't I just see this guy on Drive Bar? Like, this is like, I'm doing shows with this guy. Holy shit. That's
filth coming out of his mouth. Wasn't it one of those Drive Bar?
That was also one of the things. I was like, oh, this guy's a clean comic. He was on Que Locos. It's a clean comic. He's on PBS. Clean comic. He does cruise line. He's a clean comic. All he does is clean. I do a show with you. And then I'm like, holy shit, this guy's cool as fuck. Like, I swear to God, I'm like, because sometimes you meet comics that are clean and they look down at you like you're a dirty comic. How fucking dare you talk about pussy on stage? And it's just like, listen, I might be a dirty motherfucker, but I got a clean soul. And so I can't say that for a lot of clean comics that are just clean comics. They're like, oh, how dare you disrespect the craft by talking about women like that, or talking about like your own sexuality like that. It's just like, dude, you're exploiting God to get money. So we're all kind of doing the same thing, but a little bit differently. So why don't we just like, cut the bullshit and just say, hey.
The bottom line, are they laughing or are they walking? And
dude, yes.
Every time I've seen you, they've been laughing, not walking.
Right. And the same thing with you. And that's why we get along. It's like, cool. We're not going to fuck up the show. We're not going to fucking walk people. But I have walked people. I mean, I think every comic has walked people. I think every comic has gotten banned from a venue. I think every good comic has gone through these like.
I haven't been banned from a venue, but I've been invited not to come back.
That's considered banned.
I've been ignored from being invited back to venue. They don't say we'll never have you here again. They just don't return my calls.
Oh, okay. Then that's not the same thing. Never mind.
Just say, you know what, dude, you did it so bad. We wouldn't even have you in our parking lot. You can't even use our restroom on an off Tuesday when we're having a Kiwanis meeting. That's what I want. We need more honesty in comedy.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it's really easy to get canceled these days. It's just like, but it's also like really easy to not get canceled these days. And it's just like, I don't know, people like are really like, oh, are you scared to talk about certain things on on stage, and it's just like, no, I don't talk about politics. I don't give a shit about politics. You know what? I don't talk about religion. I'm not trying to polarize the audience. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, sometimes I do, because sometimes I'll talk about, like, fucking my wife like an elephant. And then, like, people will just honestly, like, be offended because they're, mortified that a fat guy like me could get laid and they can't. And
Oh, I
so,
thought this was a subtle dig at you were having Republican style sex.
yeah, that's right. We wear the, yeah, that's right. I dress up like a donkey. My wife dresses up like an elf, and I really show her who's the real power
You show
boss.
her who's in charge of the Congress.
No, man. No, I wish I don't know. I mean, like, I don't do politics. I also think the politics are very dated. I like stand-up where you could just, tell this joke in like 50 years, or you could have told this joke 20
Evergreen.
years ago. And like it still works. It's still gonna work. It'll always
Yeah.
work. Like a Rodney Dangerfield joke is always funny. Like honest. Like, it's, I don't know how many. I don't know when you wrote this, but like, one of my favorite Rodney jokes is, "A hooker, what a business! Is the best business there is. I mean, you got it, you sell it, you still got it." And I swear to God, I don't give a fuck who you are. That's hilarious. That's always going to be funny.
In any decade, yep.
Sex work has been, the longest established, profession in mankind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always going to be a thing. That's always going to be funny.
I thought it was snake handler, then sex worker.
Well, a good sex worker will handle a snake. So I mean that's
quick. This Victor Pacheco. I don't know if I can keep up this podcast.
No, you can't keep up. You just run away in real life. Because I can't. I got to be quick-witted because I can't run fast. That's why I drive my Prius hella fast, just to compensate for me not being able to physically run fast. And
what's the fastest you've got the Prius up to?
Okay. This sounds like a. Fuck it. Can my wife hear me right now? Is a good question. No, I'm just kidding. She can. But 115.
So was it rattling pretty good? I never got my Prius over 85.
No, dude, my shit was. Oh, dude, I am fucking, dude. Like, sometimes I'm on 5, sometimes I'm on the 405, sometimes I'm on the different highways, and I'm just like, I want to see how fast this motherfucker can go. Plus, I just put $3,000 into the car, so I figured,
I saw you had a little issue with the dealership, right?
Oh, I had a huge issue with the
we should just do a podcast on I call it Car Fucked.
Car Fucked. Oh my God.
All the horror stories of people who went to a mechanic.
That is just, here's the thing. I'm willing to talk about it for a little bit and just move on to the next topic. But like, to have a whole podcast to hear the American public getting fucked by the dealerships because they don't give a fuck. It
could be
about
just comics breaking down on the road.
Dude, but then that's just sad. It's like, comics are already so sad. And you know what? I'm not gonna fucking talk you out of this idea. If you want to do this idea, do it. But like, I'm just saying, it's just like, dude, every time that my car breaks down, I am questioning the existence of God. I am questioning my self-worth. I am fucking questioning my career choices. I am questioning why, like, oh my, like, everything is plotted to get, why did this car break down? Like, there's no, I mean, it's just, sometimes it's an old vehicle. Sometimes you're not taking care of it. Sometimes, but it's just like, I try, I mean, especially with the comics, just like when you have a shitty car and you got a gig that's hella far away, and you're just like, can I bring another comic? But that's a nice way of saying, hey, I got a shitty car and I need somebody to drive me there. So is it cool if I bring another comic? And then they're like, yeah, but we're not going to
my car. I bring someone to push.
Well, it's not gonna be me, man, because I got a fucked up back. So it's just
dude. Okay, I got to share my story. I know this is not a car breakdown sob story. Got shit to cover. So I buy a 2018 Honda Clarity because it's plug-in and you can recharge it while you're in internal combustion. I'm like, this is great. It's a Revive salvage. Took me 5 months to get the car registered. It was a nightmare. So I finally take the car. My first road trip, I went to Lakeview, Oregon, because I'm, big time like that, 3,000 people. And then I went to Boise. On the way back, I broke down 115 miles from Winnemucca, Nevada. The tire just basically was starting to rattle. The tire just flat. It looked like a race car tire. It was fine the day before. So I wait 2.5 hours. I get towed 115 miles. Walmart says, yeah, we'll fix the tire. Oh, we don't have the tire. It's a Sunday afternoon. They put the new tire on. No, they call me and say, you have to mount your own tire. We can't do it because the rim's bad. So I got a bad rim on it, and I got to drive. How fast can I drive the car? 20 miles an hour. It's just on the I-80 where everything's going. The speed limit is 80 in Nevada.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, when I got pulled onto the flatbed, it popped. You heard this metal. The guy goes, the tow truck goes, you got a leak. So bottom line, 3 tows, overnight stay, because one couldn't get a tow truck. Got rejected by one tow truck driver because he said I was piggybacking. I get to back to Reno, $1,500 because they welded, the people I bought the car from welded this transmission cooling assembly to the bottom instead of bolting it, because they put on a shitty rim and it wore the tire bad. Because the shitty rim wore the tire, I had to get towed, and then the tow truck wench ripped this part, $1,500. Bottom line, come see me at small claims court in Van Nuys, California in the next couple of months. I'll be performing in front of Judge Watkins in courtroom 17.
Dude, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. Jesus Christ.
I'm suing him.
I hope you get what's owed to you, because that's and was that on the way? That was on the way to a gig or on the way back from the
On the
gig?
way back, thank goodness. But
yeah, oh my God, that's a whole. You know what? This sounds like super recently too, right? This is not.
It was in March. I still got the PTSD. You know, it's still strong.
Oh my God, dude, that's horrible, man. Yeah, breaking down. I mean, the only thing that would have made it worse would have been if that was on the way to the gig, and you would have to get
and you didn't get paid. Yes.
Towed to get to the gig. Like, okay, fuck repairing the car. It's just I have AAA. So I just be like, you guys got to tow me to this gig. And
you know, you've got a hybrid. You know, there's no spare tire. There's no spare tire in a lot of new cars that aren't hybrids.
You know what? I actually have a 2014, and I have a spare in my back, but the jack that they put in the back of the RAV4 is a joke. It's like for like a little toy car, and I'm like, I'm not getting under.
Oh, the little crank.
It's like the tiniest crank, and it looks
Fisher Price. Yeah,
it's the most dangerous looking jack I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, I'm not gonna jack up the car and get under the fucking car with that little shit. Right. I know you're supposed to use it just to repair the tire, just to lift it up enough to get the tire off, and it's practical. Don't get me wrong, but I'm old school. I want that shit to fucking weigh a lot. I want to, see the car get jacked, like,
yeah,
and be super.
You want it to roll, and when you take it off, it smashes your knuckles. You bleed a little bit,
Yeah, and then your hand smells like that oily, like just like milk, or like I don't know, like the smell of like 10 mechanic hands that have never washed their hands while they were working.
And here's and even worse. And on top of all this, the guy's like, probably just get 2 new tires because it'll wear better, and then you can just keep the other, buy a rim and have a spare. I was so frazzled about when they couldn't put the tire, they wouldn't mount the wheel, and I had to do it. I was at Walmart with the power. I left the tire there on top, so I was another $100 down the drain.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I didn't realize how fucking important that tire is when you're getting new tires. Like, oh no, there's still a rim, and
you cannot get. Now this is when you're in Nevada. We're like, it's like 2 hours between cities. I live in Reno, Sparks, Nevada, outside of Reno, and being a road comic a lot of years, here it's like 2 hours between cities at highway. So they'll have maybe one tow truck driver for a county the size of Connecticut.
Jesus.
And then I got it. They couldn't find a tow truck driver, so I got them to authorize. Well, you can find one on your own. And I'm like, okay. I start calling around. $1,100 was one quote to go 92 miles. Another quote $800. Another quote $600.
Jesus.
AAA was going to pay the $600 tow because they couldn't get a guy, but the guy wouldn't. He says, "Call me before 10." Then we got the credit card. We're ready to get the tow, but the guy's not picking up the phone now. So.
Oh my God! Yeah, this just sounds never ending. It's just never ending.
I got to spend the night in Lovelock, Nevada. So that was if you ever get a chance, don't.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream come true. Jesus Christ! Yeah, I hope you get that money. I hope you get compensated for that, because that just sounds just really fucked. Oh God, it's so horrible, man. And it's just like, dude, like I had this conversation with a comedian earlier today about how a comedian owes them $60, and then another comedian owes me $30, and then we both realize, hey, you know what? It's kind of fucked up that, like, we got into these arguments with these comedians over like amounts less than $100. But then I made the argument, hey, that's comedy money. Like those $60 and those $30 to normal people, that's a fucking mortgage payment. Because earning a penny in stand-up comedy is fucking hard. So like, when a comic like fucks you out of money, or like, tells you they're going to pay you a certain amount and then they
Right.
don't,
And
or like,
maybe you had to pay for parking, and that maybe you had to get a hotel because the show ended late, you were too tired to drive, and there's always these add-on little things, that just can come up, and it's totally unexpected. It costs you more money. So that $30, especially $30, that's why working around at home, like you're in SoCal. I mean, I'm in Reno. I mean, they say, like, my buddy's like, he thinks it's like a current exchange rate. He goes, yeah, $100 on at home is like 300 on the road. Make 100
dude,
and sleep in your own bed. But I don't know if
yeah,
it's, I don't know if that exact, but it's not probably that far off.
it's like it's like off between 50 to 150 bucks. Like I mean, I'm sorry, pre-pandemic, because like I don't know, some places are super generous, and some places they want you to kiss their ass for $50 to do a
Right.
full headliner set, and I'm like, you can suck my dick. Like I'm not, especially like for like a 45-minute set where it's just like it's like, and it's a cutthroat, no win, like
You're
there's
working
no.
for $1 a minute to just torture
Ah,
yourself to
yeah,
get.
exactly. And you know what? It's worse than that. Like it's just it's demeaning. It's like and
I'd
it's
rather go give, I'd rather
not
go give plasma.
not that I'm above doing. Yeah, and you know what I mean? Like if I that should be like just a standard question to ask comedians. Like, okay,
How much
plasma,
plasma have you given?
how much plasma have you donated? Nobody ever fucking donates it. It's just like you donated and you're
Yeah.
given a stipend, but you're getting fucking paid for
Yeah.
your fucking plasma. So some rich motherfucker can
Oh, dude,
continue
I
to
did
like.
it where I like the plasma, you go there and they'd have like the double bonus days, and you like try to get a third donation in the month. And I'd be trying to get back. So I'd be going, oh yeah, I got an extra plasma donation.
Dude, I don't know. I really always try to just donate sperm, and they're like, because I'm like, listen, I'm over 6 feet tall, a college grad, but then the thing, the morbid obesity and not being white is really killing me. And so, like, if I were to be white and not morbidly obese, I'd be like one of those dudes who had like semen that's worth like fucking like $3,000 a month. You go in there like 3 times a week or 4 times a
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
You jerk off in the room. You come in
So
the
they're
cup,
guys that are
and
like in demand.
right. There's like a certain type of like Scandinavian fucking American
Like
dream.
a Chris Pratt stunt double or something. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, some hot white piece of ass. That's not me, and that's fine. That's what's been fucking me over in this business. Not being a hot white piece of ass.
Mm.
Okay, just not being a hot piece of ass has been fucking me in this business. All right, if I was just any race, but just a hot piece of ass. But
Yeah, but good looking, smarmy white dudes. They've kind of dominated comedy for a while. So I think we're evolving. It's diversifying.
dude, I 100% agree. We're diversifying, and like it's just like something that I want to talk to you about, like with being a Native American or indigenous comedian. And so, what is the significant? I mean, I don't know. Like when it comes to like indigenous comedians, like is there like more love when you see one another, or is it like more competition? Because like I noticed, like it really depends. Like with Mexicans, like sometimes Mexicans really got your back, and sometimes Mexicans like, hey, fuck that fucker.
Yeah.
He's gonna take our jobs, bro. Fuck that guy, man. And so like we're like, and like maybe because like because of all of the horrible things that have happened to Native American people of this country. I don't know. Is there like a common, like, I don't know, like brotherhood, or is it just like
I think
individual basis?
it's like any other comedy community, whether it's Latino or Black or gay. It's like, you get along, and there's certain like you're good, but then when it comes down to certain things, there's probably going to be friction. I mean, if it's like, hey, well, we're both up for that job, and they picked this guy because his cousin used to be the tribal chairman or something. It's like, well, yeah, he really was. That wasn't really his gig. He was 99% of the time, I'd say I'd get along pretty much with everyone, and in the Native community, it's so small. There's really a couple dozen working Native comics probably. There's probably out there doing mics and stuff, but I mean, working close to full time, maybe a couple dozen.
Jesus Christ. Because like I always feel disenfranchised. I'm just like, how many of the fucking top comics are like Latino, or how many of the top comics are fat? But then it's just like, how many of the top comics are dudes, and it's just like the majority of the top comics are dudes, okay, but like like fat and or Latino or Gabriel Iglesias, there's
Mhm.
one, but I mean that's it. So it's just like I'm not like, oh well, where's my turn? It's just like I'm trying to make my own lane and do what I need to do to get
Yeah.
noticed, but it's just like it's so
Well,
hard down here, especially in LA because I just moved here, and it's just like I'm hitting up these people, I'm hitting
yeah.
up these comedy clubs, and they're like, we don't give a fuck about you, we don't know you. You know what I mean? And it's just like
Oh,
so.
yeah, it's brutal. Yeah.
And I've been learning because I've been like interviewing a bunch of comics, and I've been asking like, how do you get into comedy clubs? It's like hang out or like ask somebody who's inside the club
You
to
gotta
to
have
to
someone
rec-
yeah,
yeah.
you get on some showcase night shows, get the guys that are producing the off nights, the Tuesday night, they got a guy, he's been in there and he's gonna put 4 or 5 people up. Or they gotta, you might have to do a comedy contest once in a while. I mean, a lot of people don't like to do that. Maybe, try to do some festivals, if I want to be in a
That-
contest, I didn't get into
yeah.
comedy to, this isn't the Olympics, I'm here to tell jokes, not try to take someone out.
Oh God. And then and then like you beat me out at the comedy competition, and now I hate Mark all of a sudden because
Dude,
he
I did
beat me
this one.
out, and he only beat me because he won me by what he beat me by one vote, and it was an
Yeah.
indigenous guy, and that's the
Yeah.
only reason he
Yeah, it
got
was one of those, it
any
was a
excuse.
tribal casino.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That happened to
But
me. We did a comedy like cage match, whatever they call it. It was in Washington, and it was down to 2 of us, $1,000 winner take all, and he had like 0.85%, of 1% higher than I had as a cumulative score. And I got 0, so I got from 1,000 to 0. Those are
ah,
tough ones.
oh my God, yeah, that's like so close. That's like about to get laid, and they're like, you know what? I'm really tired. I gotta go home. It's like, what the fuck? What was all that talking about? What was all that like light petting about? It's like you just got me excited for no reason. What
Yeah,
the fuck? I don't know. It's just I don't. I
there
start.
was foreplay, clothes were being removed, and then
Dude, I don't know. It's just I don't.
yeah, and I tell people don't get too caught up in that whole festival nonsense because that's a lot of circle jerking, I think, in some regards, and everyone's.
Well, I mean, isn't it all circle jerking?
It is to a point. At the end of the day,
It's a
people want to
circle
see
jerk.
talent.
I mean, but yes.
Sure.
But I mean, I think the problem is though, there's a lot of jerking off of people that aren't funny that
And
maybe
that
produce
it's
really great
clogging
shows.
the lanes. They're like the guy doing 62 in the 70-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah,
Okay, you need to move to the right lane, go back to the bar lane
right,
one night, and let the fast lane open for people that are doing something.
right.
Right. There's a lot of
It's just
people.
I agree 100%, and it's just
They've
like
nested. I call it network nesting. They've nested their way. They've kind of just weaseled their way in where they're taking up spots, and
yeah, but they're in, and you're just like no, because I
they're
swear
not.
to God, I'm not gonna say where, but there's this one club where I go to a lot, and I see this one host a lot, and I've been there. Honestly, I'm not fucking with you. Where I've seen them host like at least 5 times, and I'm not fucking with you. I have laughed 0 times to this one host, and I'm just like, how? Like honestly, like I'm just like let me. I'll host it for free,
Right.
just to fucking show you what the fuck
But
I
that's
can do.
probably that may be all that host is getting, and then they're just hanging on to it like.
But I mean, like me personally, like when I was living in the Bay and I was getting booked at the San Jose Improv a lot, I would have worked my ass off every single fucking time to make sure that they'd rehire me, and then like get bumped up from host to feature, which I got to do. Fortunately, well, while I was working there when I was living in the Bay, but I'm not getting any bookings anymore since I don't live there, so it's just kind of
But
like,
then
well,
also,
you know.
if you move up to feature, if it's the improv, a lot of guys are bringing their own feature. So then there's very few weeks left for you.
And then
You're getting the guys that got no friends. The headline.
or don't have the pull to bring fucking their own guys or gals or openers.
Or the
Yeah,
headliner.
no, absolutely.
The guy got his buddy got sick, or he's been out on the road by himself, so he didn't want to bother his friend to
Yeah.
come.
I mean, I didn't know this, but like I found this out. I wasn't supposed to find this out, but a headliner, I'm not going to say who it was, but I'll tell you later. But I opened for them, and they were really pissed off at me when they met me. Really pissed, like I did something, and I was
Wait.
like, oh,
They met you after your set.
no. Oh, yes, but they didn't catch my set. They were setting up their merch table, and they just didn't give a fuck.
Why were they pissed off if they didn't hear you say?
Okay, no, it wasn't that. I introduced myself and I said, "Do you need help? With the merch table?" They said no, And then so I was a perfect gentleman and blah blah blah, and he was very pissed off. And then I later find I'm like, well, what the fuck was like what happened? And I found out that he wanted his own openers, specific openers, and then that club was just like, no,
Sorry.
we're gonna bring our own openers, and the openers that you want are denied. Like, you know, you're not bringing your openers. We're
He didn't have
scheduling.
enough clout. Yeah.
Right. And so I was the host and he was like an asshole.
Yeah, so that wasn't you personally. He's pissed at the situation. So
But if I didn't find that out, man, I would have like still to this day been like, did I do something wrong? Did I like, because it's just like I haven't gotten worse. Like there's some people during the pandemic, like since the pandemic, who have gotten worse. Like there's people who have not written any, okay, for the record, before the pandemic, they haven't written a joke in 10 years.
I thought you said you didn't see me for the first time till a couple months ago.
Oh no, that's hilarious. No, that wasn't about you. And for the record, you know, Jesus Christ, I'm talking about these people that write. I'm sorry, that haven't written anything new at all, or haven't like fine-tuned anything, or they're talking about Muni, which is a very San Francisco thing, in LA or
San Jose or Fresno.
I'm like, just say subway, just say train, just say fucking public transit, you fuck nut. Like, why the fuck?
I'm at Polk and Mission waiting for Muni.
Hey, listen, if you're at Polk and Mission, you're not waiting for fucking Muni. You're fucking waiting for fucking a transvestite prostitute with a crack with a crack sack and a nut sack to just smother your face with. Okay, so anyway, that was not transphobic. I'm pro-sex, pro-positive, pro-life, pro-choice, whatever the fuck. Just, you know, pro-laughter, pro, you know, it's just pro-cane, which is the cousin of cocaine. Pro-cane. That's
Prozac and cocaine.
Yeah, oh my God. Dude, it was hilarious. I shouldn't even be telling this story, but like one time my dad was like, you know, like he was diagnosed with depression in the 90s, right? And our neighbor, he was also like, you know, diagnosed with depression, and he's Italian, and his name was Adrian, and he had a friend named Giancarlo, and Giancarlo was this big, sloppy, fat Italian guy, and him and Adrian, like, we're like, yeah, hey Frank, just go fishing with us, man, just go with us in the RV, and then you know, this is in front of our families, and I'm a little kid, and Giancarlo's like, yeah, Frank, don't be a little bitch, just come with us, and I'm just like, oh, my dad has to go on. Like I felt like I wanted to go as a kid. So they go on this trip, and like, you know, it's supposed to be for relaxation and, you know, to calm down and be, you know, they're gonna go camping, they're gonna go fishing, they're gonna go do all this, you know, manly stuff. My dad's a recovering alcoholic, you know, and so my dad comes back, we ask him how did it go, and he's like mortified. It's like, what happened? It's like, you know, he's like, Adrian and Giancarlo were popping their Prozac and drinking their sambucas and smoking weed while they were driving the RV, going down these like steep like mountains, going like 75 miles per hour, where you should go like 30. Yeah, the RV, like these old Italian dudes just fucking all fucked up. Like, you know, and it's just like the fat, like with the sambucas and the vodkas and all this shit. And I'm just like, and my dad's a recovering alcoholic, and I'm just like I'm like too young to ask him, like, hey, so what's up? You didn't hit the weed? You didn't get a contact high or nothing? You know what I mean? I was too young, but like now I can joke like that. You know, I'm, you know, in my late 30s, I can joke with my dad about that. But you know, now, I mean, I'm sorry, back in the day, it's like, don't you dare.
Did you go back and revisit the story with him and ask for details?
You know what? I need to. I revisited some details about him, and he had a drug dealer friend that I knew from the gym, but my dad was never. My dad is a retired roofer, so he did the roof of this like guy who ended up being like this like tremendous cocaine trafficker, and like we go to the gym together, and like I'm in 7th grade, I'm just trying to get bulked up, you know, so I could get some chicks to suck my dick because I was ambitious as a 7th grader, and so I was like, really, like, I swear to God. So this is like, you know, this is a true story. I like this fucking chick, you don't want her to notice me. I've always been fat. I was like, fuck it, if I could be muscular, you know, she might want to like have sex with me or something. So anyway, I was stupid. I still am. But anyway, I was going to the gym, and my dad would never work out. My dad would just go, and he would go to the sauna, the steam room, and the jacuzzi with all these fucking like Mexican mafioso dudes. And the thing is about those Mexican mafioso dudes, those dudes are hilarious as fuck. And my dad is hilarious as fuck. So they just go talk shit. And like, like I'm like 12 years old, and these are all like men in their 40s and shit. And I'm like, this dude, his name was Chichis, which is Spanish for titties because he had titties. They're calling Chichis, Chichis. And like, he was like, like, I'm the only guy in the fucking like whole fucking steam room with a towel. And he's all like, "Hey, what's up, man? What, you got a pussy under there? How come you got the towel on?" And I'm like, I'm like 12 years old or 13 years old. I'm like, what? And this is all in Spanish. He's like, "Yeah, I bet you got a big old dick like your dad too, huh?" And I was just like, okay, that's a nice thing to say to a 12. Fuck. So and then he said, "Are you gay? Why don't you want to take off your?" And I was like, okay, you know what? This is I'm just pulling down my towel. As soon as I pulled it down, he's just like, "Yeah, you got a big dick like your dad." And then he puts his arm around my dad, and he's all like, "Hey, I want to tell you something. That woman at your house that you call your mom, that ain't your mother. This is your mother right here. This is your mother, and I'm your father. I'm your dad." And then he's like, his hands on my dad's shoulder, and then he moves his hand over to my dad's breast, and he starts squeezing my dad's titty. And he's like, "Yeah, you remember sucking these and drinking milk out of them when you were a baby? Oh no, of course not. You were too young to remember." And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So I did comedy in Spanish, and I told this story that fucking killed. And because like it was just like, and I'm like, what the fuck can I tell? And I asked my dad, I was like, "Is it cool if I tell this story?" He's like, "That story's funny as fuck. Yeah, for sure. Tell that story." And unfortunately, Chichis, he got busted. He went into federal prison. FBI agents showed up to my dad, and my dad was under investigation too. And there's like surveillance photos of him hanging out with Chichis. And like, like they go out to eat. They go out to like, like hang
They
out.
thought your dad was in his crew or something.
So yeah, my dad was in the payoff, but like, I guess the sketchy part was that like my dad, I guess, did a $10,000 job one time in like the late '80s or early '90s, and like this dude paid him in like $1,000 bills. And of course, my dad, just went to go deposit them, and it's like, dude, do you know how much those are
Why is there
worth right
powder
now?
all over these?
Seriously, yeah. Why are my hands numb after handling these 10 $1,000 bills? He paid him 10 bills. Each one was $1,000. Each $1,000 bill is, I think, worth like anywhere between $3,000 to $10,000 right now, which is like, oh, cool. So that investment of keeping on that $10,000 could have been worth anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000. And it's just like, who the fuck would have known? Because I remember when Bitcoin was like under $1. I remember when my homie had 10,000 Bitcoins, and he sold them when they were worth like, I don't know how much, like definitely not in the tens of thousands of dollars per Bitcoin.
I just gave away a collectible Pontiac Firebird, an '88 Firebird GTA.
well, you're a saint. Not everybody does that.
No, it wasn't. It was. I was doing this neighbor storage thing. Got to make a side hustle. It's comedy. We have this really narrow driveway in our house. We got this nice big RV pad or the turnaround, but you can't get anything back there because there was a property dispute, and the neighbor sawed off part of the driveway and put the fence up. So it's like a car barely squeezes through there. So this guy, we had it on this neighbor, and everyone couldn't get their vehicles. This guy comes to this transit, goes, "Yeah, I want to bring my car down from Washington," and he comes rolling up, and he's like, it's stalling out, and it's this fat engine. So he pulls in, piece of crap. He leaves it. He gets in a cab, and then whatever, he flew back to Washington, left the car, paid for like a year and a half. Then he stopped paying. So then the neighbor people, it's like a third-party storage app. They start calling me. "Hey, we're going to help you remove that car. You need to get off the property. We can't keep paying you." What do you mean? You said you guys, if something goes wrong. Well, no tow truck can fit back in your yard based on the photo. So you have to bring the car out. I don't have a way to get the car out. The tires are flat. The muffler's on the ground. So I thought it was a piece of crap. So my fiance's son had his buddy dragged it. We broke in and got it was a stick. So I got it neutral, rolled it out to the driveway. The tow truck so we did a lean through for the storage company, and the tow truck driver comes up and goes, "Oh, Trans Am, this is a GTA. If this is a GTA, it's probably worth some money." He goes, "I think I'm going to buy it. I love Pontiacs." and I wasn't going to buy it, but they wanted like the bond was like several $1,000s. I'm like, I don't want this piece of shit. So this guy's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna take it to we'll take it. We put up an auction. It's got to sit in an impound for a while. It was, yeah, standing as it is standing, it's probably worth 9,000. And I could have had the car for basically a $1,500 surety bond, but I did. Yeah, so
I mean, yeah, I mean, of course you like find
I'm not a
stuff
car
out
guy.
like that after. I mean, yeah, I mean, like who would have known unless you are a car guy? So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just thinking about just like all these other times where like, you know, it's just like you don't know the value of some of the stuff that you've had. And it's I can't tell you how many baseball cards I've thrown away that were
Oh,
rookie cards that I didn't
I
give
got
a
those little Hot Wheels cars from back in the 70s. Those things are probably worth hundreds. Yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I'm just Jesus
We had a
Christ.
'63 Impala. It was pristine. If I had
Dude.
that car, I just think all the old cars we had, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, Jesus, like well, I mean, I didn't have any cool cars like that. I had you know those old school Toyotas are usually yellow and they say diesel on the back. I had one of those,
Like a
but it didn't.
Supra.
I mean, kind of, but it was a Mercedes Benz. It was it was like an
Oh,
E380,
yeah.
and like you know, I was like, that's my weight right now. And so like I don't
You're
have that car.
driving your weight.
I'm driving my weight around. No, that car was like a fucking boat. I lost my virginity in that car. My mom doesn't like that detail, but you know. And then she sold it for $80 to like this like undocumented worker. And then he had
You wanted it out of the house.
well, I mean, just you know, to help out this person.
She was being a good Samaritan, basically.
Doing it a good Samaritan, but then he went back to Mexico and he just abandoned the car. And then my parents just donated it. And I'm like, I lost my virginity in that car. Why the fuck did you guys sell that? Why'd you guys donate it? Like that's fucked up. Like, you know, at least like let me keep the back seat, you know? Like, no, I'm just kidding. I wasn't that sentimentally like attached to losing my
I'm just kidding. We did it in the trunk.
Yeah, I know, seriously. We did it on the hood. No, I didn't have me outside of the car, but you know,
You're like, I'm a classy guy. We did it on the hood.
Yeah, we did it on the hood, you know, just in case we made a mess.
Because
It'd be outside. Easy clean. That's right. Class act gentleman. I have a question.
Love under the stars.
Yeah, dude. Dude, yeah, you sound like a man of romance. Performing outside, I just performed outside recently, and I did that prior to the pandemic, and then during the pandemic, I've done it like a shit ton of times. But like prior to the pandemic,
I did some pandemic backyard show or two, and Zoom shows. And I've done shows on a rock in the Sierra Mountains. I've done tool shows in a shed in Iraq at an Air Force base in Mechanics Bay.
Holy shit! In Iraq, that's awesome. For the
show, I did a show on Alaska Airlines. On the way to Fairbanks, Alaska.
On the plane?
With the speaker, yeah.
Oh my God, that must have been the fucking best, man. That must have been so awesome.
It was pretty surreal. So my goal, because I've done air, I did Alaska Airlines land, I've done, land gigs, I've done cruise ships, so I got air, land, and sea credit. So my next one, either I want to be the first comic to do comedy on the Antarctic, I get down there like to the science, or maybe in space. But I think that one could be a little tougher. I think I might have a better shot with the Antarctic.
What about underwater?
I don't know. How would you do that?
I don't know. Metalocalypse did it. It's a cartoon. I don't know. I just got that crazy. I was just like, yeah. What about underwater? You could play.
Pop up in a,
I'm just fucking with you.
Submarine.
You need a real audience. I remember with the Zoom, people were talking so much shit about the Zoom. The only people talk shit about the Zoom were people who were like, I don't know, just like either not confident with their jokes or just found out through Zoom that their jokes have been horrible this whole time.
You know what I loved about Zoom? I could put all my material right on my screen. I was just using it as a teleprompter. Yeah. Anyway, so this COVID was crazy. Yeah. Hold on.
Damn it, Mark. The whole point of the podcast is to, let's look behind the curtain and you just expose the Zoom business. I'm just kidding. No. That's my. No, that's a dirty business. The Zoom.
Oh no, I put notes. Like I'd have the screen and I'd have like notes over here with my set list.
Dude,
so, yeah.
I know you can't do it. Oh, actually, I'm not going to say who, but in the Bay Area, I did a show with somebody, and like I have this thing where I have this method of positive visualization. So if I envision success and if I envision positivity, then I will more likely than not have success. So if I am able to show up to a show before the audience gets there and I can physically walk on stage and imagine success, I'm more likely to be like, successful. Like I'm more comfortable.
You
So
try to get early
I tried to
to
get there early so I could like actually get on the stage before. This always doesn't happen, and I always don't have this option because sometimes people show up. Doors open at 7. They show up at 6:30, and they're in there early. So
yeah,
I
you
can't.
can't show up. Clear the room.
Yeah, it's just like, excuse me, can you guys close your eyes? I don't want to ruin the magic. You know what I mean? I think you sound like a douchebag. I don't want to ruin the magic. And it's just like, who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I mean? Like, you imagine, I don't know. But
But it works.
but it works. Yeah, man. I fucking
Did you always do that for like everything?
uh
Just for comedy?
just for comedy, dude. Like I fucking I mean, I don't know. I just do certain things for comedy. Like it's so funny. Like my dad asked me in Spanish, he's like, hey, what's your act? And I was like, I act like I'm not depressed. That's what my act is. Like I fucking just go out there and I just like pretend everything's good and everything. It's just like, but like, I said that first part, but then I taught him exactly, like what I talk about and mostly my day job and I hate the kids and he's a substitute teach and it's fucked up because like audiences are like you don't substitute teach. You don't have sex and you're not married.
I think it's all just a facade.
They think it's all an act. Like everything, like there's no way that this guy with it, because like I have a huge forehead. So sometimes it gets misperceived as me having a mental disability.
They think you're a bouncer. They don't think you're a substitute teacher.
That's dude, I mean, like, I'm too fat to bounce. Oh wait, no, I'm not. But that's the clip. Okay. But no, dude, I mean, like every time I show up, but not every time. Most of the time I show up at a school, they're always like, oh, you're here to pick up your kid? I'm like, I'm here to teach. Jesus Christ, is it that easy? No wonder so many kids getting fucking kidnapped. God damn. And then it's just fucked up because like I do stand up and I'm like, people won't believe that I'm a substitute teacher. Even when I tell stories of my experiences, like in the hood, in the suburbs, like, all black schools, all Mexican schools, private schools, charter schools, public schools, kindergarten, transition kindergarten, continuation school, PE, like, you know what I mean? I have material about like everything in between.
Have you taught traffic school yet?
No.
You missed it. You're too young. Yeah, I used to do traffic school. Yeah.
What's up with traffic school? I mean, like, I mean,
it was 8 hours you had to talk to people. It was 6 hours and 40 minutes by law. We were able to fudge it a little bit, but sometimes the DMV had sent inspectors, so you couldn't let people out too early. Some people got busted.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That's
a captive audience, dude. I had some good material though, man. That's why I got my comedy chops at traffic school.
Dude, that's actually very inspiring, man. Yeah. Because like you're making money while you're, building this public speaking voice that you're going to use for stand-up.
Here's one of my stupid comedy school shtick jokes. So I'd have a quiz, right? And everything I would have punching. So the rule is if you hit a dog, what's the rule? You must stop and report the dog. Notify the owner you've hit the dog. What happens if you hit a cat? You back up, finish the job. And they still let me into comedy with that material.
Dude, that's a clean joke. I mean, I don't think you should do that. Like, I would not open with that at an animal rights fundraiser, but it's a funny joke. It's clean. And it
worked for it was all driving related,
It's just, but there's so many I'm a dog person. Yeah. So like for me, that's funny. And then like my wife doesn't hate cats, but she's like very allergic to them. Yeah. And when I used to do a lot of cocaine, I used to be allergic to cats too. Like it was just like the dander, it would just go into my name.
Dander mixed with the cocaine.
Yeah. The cat does not mix good with the cocaine, man. It does not mix good. It makes you a little bit fucked up on the inside and on the outside too, because you turn red, you can't breathe. But like, it's so fucked up. I think I'm the only Mexican comedian that does not do an impression of his mom on stage. Like, it's just like, and I don't know. I mean, that's not a bad thing. If you do an impression of your mom on stage, that's cool. But I mean, it's just like, that's one thing I don't do. I do talk about my mom. like because like she's fucking hilarious. My mom's fucking.
So why don't you do your voice? Just you think it's just been overdone or out of
I
respect?
mean, I don't think that like like talking like this, like people are gonna believe that like that's how she talks.
Well, they don't
Or
believe you're a
like
substitute teacher, so why the hell not? Okay?
that's
They don't
hilarious.
believe shit you say.
They don't believe shit, man. Like, dude, I really have had people come up to me like, "Hey, so what do you teach? Where do you teach at?" And it's just like, wait, are you trying to get me fired? Like, well, I don't believe you're substitute teacher.
You should just bring your C-best with you. You have to here, you fucking shut
Oh
up.
my god, dude,
Here's a wedding picture with you and your wife.
Dude, I
You should
should
just have
take a
like a
picture.
photo. You should have it on your phone. Just scroll through or have it on the screen. You know.
Dude, that's too much. I'm just gonna take a picture with my wife holding up the sea best, and then just one photo. Here we go. And then I have my dog right there, and it's just just to prove I'm a dog owner too, because I probably made that up too. And then I have a cute little Chihuahua poodle mix, and
I won't believe that. They'd say you got a Rottweiler, pit bull, shepherd.
Oh, I got a dog that looks like me, like it's a bulldog with no neck that has breathing problems. So like it's just like me having a cute Chihuahua, me being
Boston Terrier that snorts.
yeah, Boston Terrier that snorts and chops up my lines because that's a good boy right there. That's a good boy. But like I swear to God though, man.
No respect. My dog snort on my cocaine. No respect.
Oh, this freeloader. And then hold on, let me do address. Oh, freeloader. All right, no, I don't know. I think I like every success. I mean, not successful, but like quotable comic. Like it's like has that like I don't know, like Yiddish Jew. I don't know, New York twang. I don't know why, or at least in my brain. And also, I've learned English watching television. So sometimes I sound like I'm from New York, and I'm not from New York. Or like I'll do shit that's like very like for this is a true story. Sorry, what did you say?
You probably could pass for Puerto Rican because you have a little bit of that kind of East Coast attitude.
Oh yeah, I'm very blunt, and so like people are like you're a little bit too blunt because like this is a true story. I'm standing in front of a comedy venue. I'm talking to my friend. He's a black guy, right? Why is he black? He's got to be he's a black guy. So anyway, I thought this black dude is a sweetheart of a guy. And then this comic, he comes up to me. I'm smoking a joint, and my friend, the black dude, does not smoke weed. So I'm smoking a joint, and this comic comes up to me, and he's all like, while I'm talking to this dude, he's all like, "Hey, let me hit that joint." And I look at the dude, and I'm like, "Hey, Victor, how you doing today, man? Isn't it a beautiful day we're having today, bro? You want to like maybe pretend to be my fucking friend before you ask me for something, dude?" And I did not mince any words, verbatim said that. And the black dude says, without skipping a beat, he's like, "Holy shit, man. This is like straight up from a fucking movie out of the 70s in New York, man. Holy shit. You don't take no shit, do you?" I'm like, bro, I give the respect I get. So if you're gonna disrespect me like that, I want to fucking disrespect you like that. Because like you're my boy, Mark. If you're like, "Hey Vic, let me hit that blunt," be like, "Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you're my boy." But if it's some fucking dude I don't know, and like you see them like at open mics, or you see them, it's like I don't know you shit. I don't know you, and then it's always that one guy. "Oh, let me hit that. Let me hit that." Like every fucking time, I'm like, "Hey, listen, I have never seen you bust out weed, not one fucking time. So go fuck yourself." And I told people that, and this was before COVID. And
I think that could be your comedy album, Blunt.
Blunt.
There is,
too blunt for stand-up. No.
Or too blunt, yeah.
Or blunted. That's what people say when they smoke a lot of blunts and they're really like high as fuck. Yeah, I'm blunted as fuck. I got blunted.
That might be a good
blunted.
One.
The past tense of blunt. But yeah, I don't smoke blunts. I smoke joints. But it's just like no. But I mean, it's just like it's so fucked up because
What's the blunt, the double entendre? Just because you are blunt, you just
I'm very blunt. Yeah, I know, and it could just be like me, but as a blunt. Like I'll just Photoshop me as a blunt. And make me look uneven with my tits and my belly and my, my fat, and make me, like make it look like one of those sloppy blunts or whatever. But like, what's it called? Yeah. So I have some questions for you.
Now we get down to the nitty gritty. That's where it gets.
Oh no, we've been having a great conversation. I'm like, okay, let's get to the question part. You're like, I didn't
quiz.
I didn't approve no fucking.
You told me you were going to give me advance warning on these questions.
I asked for this in writing. No. You can ask me to skip any questions.
All of a sudden, I'm going to be like,
Mark
Right?
is Mark is mouthing words and pretending that his audio went out. That'd be so funny. And then you hear
Yeah.
somebody yelling in the background, "Mark, dinner's ready," or "Mark, are you ready to go?" And it's just like, oh shit, how did I hear
Ready
that?
to have the emergency text.
Ready to go, Victor? Yeah, I gotta go. No, it's nothing like that. No, but what's it called? You've been performing stand up for since the late 90s, and you've had your fair share of doing comedy around the world, around the country, and I've had experiences personally with racist crowds. What type of advice would you give for a comedian who has a racist audience and they don't like you, but you're making them laugh, but they fucking hate you?
You're making them laugh, but they hate you.
Yes.
Get that money. Get paid. Get asked to get paid right away.
So you just get the fuck out as soon as it's over, right? No, that time I had to wait too. And then the fucker came up to me and talked to me after the show, and I embarrassed the fuck out of him in front of everybody. In front of everybody, bro. Like in front of everybody. And then I was like, "You hate Mexicans?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, why don't you suck my spit dick then?" And the crowd went fucking crazy. Okay, like
Nice.
I killed so hard. One of the guys on the show who produces shows up in like Northern California, he saw me do 20 minutes of this. He saw me do 20 minutes of crowd work.
What town was this in, if you may ask?
Ukiah.
Dude, I lived in Lake County. There are all sorts of racists in those areas.
So I'm not making this up. This has really happened. And they were like, but there was a lot of that crowd was cool as fuck. And then also, at the time I was doing an anti-Trump joke. I don't do political humor anymore. This is how long ago this was. And so, I mean, it was like 2015, 2016-ish. But I was saying this Trump joke, and somebody kept going, boo, boo, boo. And I was like, dude, don't boo me, blow me. And the fucking crowd just like, same fucking show. Same show, different heckler. And then it went back to the other heckler. And then like he was there with like 4 women. There was 2 on each side. And I was like, bro, it doesn't matter if you're gay because you ain't gonna fuck any of these ladies tonight. I got a better chance than you, and I got bigger tits than all 4 of them combined. And oh my god, it was fucking like everyone was.
That's it. You just go right at them too. That's
I was just like really just like I don't know. So like my thing was just like fuck it.
You can't show fear in a situation like that.
The worst part was that I drove 3.5 hours to get there. I got there an hour before the show started, and
So
then
you can visualize.
Correct. And then the show started at 2 hours late. And then they weren't letting people in unless they paid cover. And there was people that paid cover just to come in just to drink because they had like the cheapest drinks in town. Like I'm not like
about the comedy.
They didn't give a fuck about the comedy. So it was like one of those situations where you had it like fucking like there was like maybe like 80 people in there, but like 25 were there for stand-up.
Formula for disaster when you
it was horrible. Everyone paid though.
But no, I just say it's if you either got a free show or a real cheap cover where people just use it. And now they're pissed they had to pay the $5 to just shut up so I can drink. That's the guy. You're the guy that took their $5. You could have bought another round with that.
Well, not just that though. We're conversation blocking them and cock blocking them from talking to any potential suitors that night or potential, sexual conquests or whatnot. Yeah. And here we are, with our microphones, making people laugh. And then, it's like that person, like they get pissed off, like, hey, why are you getting that fucking attention? Nobody fucking knows you. It's like, look, I'm funny, motherfucker. You don't need to heckle me just because you have no self-esteem and you don't have the fucking balls to come up here, And
if those people are in the back and they're not part of the show, I don't even usually address it. If I say, hey, they're turned away. I know what the setup was. Yeah. There's no reason to involve them.
Front and center, directly heckling me. Talking so that's what I'm speaking. No. I don't even fuck with people in the audience unless they fucking interrupt me or they heckle me, which is a form of interruption. So like even if it's a positive interruption, like you're funny.
I thought with heckle we were trying to help you. Did you ever get that one?
Oh God, yeah. It's like I was doing fine. You know what I mean?
We're putting out a Craigslist ad.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where I have been doing okay. And then like I'm frustrated because the fucking joke I'm doing is new or on the newer side, and I'm really wanting it to work. And then fucking kind of didn't go over. And then you're kind of pissed off, and a heckler fucking says something, and you fucking destroy the shit out of the heckler. And then everybody's on your side, and everything you say after that is gold because you already won the trust and like everything from the audience. Like they really like they believe in you now because you took down this heckler. But in reality, like this one time, I was wearing this hat. I was wearing a fedora when I first started comedy because I had no self-esteem, and so I thought this would help me somehow. And like there was this fucking guy at the back of the bar, and he's like, "Look at you with that hat. You look like Miley Cyrus. You look like Britney Spears." And then I said, without skipping a beat, I was like, "It's Britney, bitch." And fucking the place went fucking crazy, and fucking like I just kept making fun of him. I like for being like a short Mexican guy and his dick's hella short, and the reason he won't shut up is because he can't get a boner and his dick's small. And like all the chicks were going crazy, like, ah! What the fucking, Mexican chicks get. And the fucking fucked up part was as soon as my set was over, he comes up to me and he shakes my hand. It looked like he was about to stab me, by the way. And I was kind of scared. He's all like, "Hey, bro, I was just trying to help." I was like, "Bro, you would have helped by shutting the fuck up, man. I was trying out new shit. Like, what the fuck?" But like, and then I go outside to go smoke, and then like all these other people go outside to go smoke, and then this white girl comes up to me, and she's all like, "Oh my god, you guys were so funny. How long did you guys rehearse that for?" And I was like, "Rehearse? I don't know that fucking guy. I just met that guy tonight."
That is hilarious.
When he was heckling me, and right now when he came up to give me a hug, I thought he was going to stab me for making fun of him and his dick and his inability to get laid, and that it's Britney, bitch, and that I called him a bitch.
See, that's how good your banter was, that you were so quick that she thought this guy can't be coming up with this stuff that fast. That's a compliment.
Oh yeah, no, but it was also like I was in disbelief. I'm just like, you really think that I fucking spend time talking to that fucking loser to fucking say all that fucking
People
shit?
have no.
That was, I mean, no, but
people, but 80% of the audience think that you're just making shit up when you get up there. Like the whole
right,
set. Just,
right. You're wigging it. You just came up with that shit on the spot right there. You haven't been telling that joke. You didn't come up with that joke however many years ago, or months ago, or weeks ago. How long you've been fine tuning that joke and polishing it and just making it into the fucking awesome, shiny, beautiful joke that we strive to make. That joke that works everywhere. That joke that it's just like no matter what, you're like, this joke's gonna kill. This joke's gonna kill, and it's just like to have the confidence to do that. Every single joke is what it takes to I think to be successful. Because like if you doubt yourself or if you're not, I don't know, like excited about your own jokes or your own material or your own premises, it gets tired. It's like you're a fucking robot up there just dictating.
Crowds are smarter than they were before. They're a little more judgy and they're gonna be a little more sensitive, but they realize when you're in the moment and you have spontaneity. Although this dumb lady evidently didn't realize you were in the moment. She thought it was rehearsed, but people, they appreciate crowd work, and they not this because you just do crowd work, just do crowd work because it was you reacted quickly and hilariously to like the situation, and they know what people are. No, well that guy couldn't. No way he could rehearse that. That guy's fucking sharp,
Well, I mean, as a comic, you would have recognized, hey, that dude was just in the moment. There's no way fuck he rehearsed that. Because even if he rehearsed that, there's no way he could have executed it like that, as pissed off as he was. Because I was so fucking pissed, bro. I was so pissed. And also, I was a little scared that he was going to stab me. So there was that extra, oh, okay, you're going to fucking kill me here at the shitty ass dive bar in fucking San Jose. Okay, cool. Well, then I'm going to fucking make sure that everyone laughs at you. And you feel fucking ridiculous before I fucking die.
And someone record this in case I get stabbed. I want this video to go viral.
I know, so I could finally get my credit. What's it called? No, I jokingly told my friend, I was like, he's like, bro, yeah, I don't want to get killed by the cops. I was like, yeah, I know. It'd be the only time you got a TV credit. And so, oh man, I'm such a piece of shit. Just for that, I'll never get a TV
I
credit.
love it.
You know, unless I go in through the back door and it's like, I got these script, bro. You know, it's gonna make a lot of money, man. But you know, it's just like I don't know, like you know, there's like so many avenues to go down. Like you know, with a stand-up, like you know, you could do acting, you could do voice acting, you could become a script writer. You know, there's just so much stuff that's in the entertainment business that is
That's
just
the
like,
problem, because a lot of us are ADD type creatives and we can't, well, I want to do this. Oh, that's an opportunity. I'm no, no, no.
yeah. I mean, like right now, it's just like I'm working on scripts. I'm trying to write a Mexican themed, you know, comedy, and it's just like I'm learning how to write scripts, and it's just like I'm incorporating. What's funny is like I write down everything I think is funny, and it doesn't always translate to stand up, but sometimes it translates into the script, and I can use it in the script. And so, and it is funny because
Hey.
it's like situational.
Yeah. Now, did you see that just Joe Coy's coming out with that feature film?
No, I did
Joe Coy
not.
coming out with Easter Sunday about the Filipino family and the Easter Sunday bring together.
No, I didn't know. I did not
So, I
see
mean,
that.
that's good. So
You do by the way, you do the Filipino really fucking good.
Oh.
That was you do a little bit too good.
I've been told by my millennial muse. I have this lady does help me with TikTok and social media. And like we were talking, she started somehow we started getting on material. And she's like, oh, you know, doing voices and stuff. You know, that's like considered, you know, a lot of Gen Zers, younger millennials. Like, oh, you can't do those voices. That's not appropriate.
What? Fuck that.
Cultural appropriation.
I mean, all due respect, I know this is like, you know, one of your producers or whatever, but like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, fuck your producer. No, I'm just kidding. No. I mean, it's just like, you can't make those voices. It's just like, okay, well, maybe not in real life, but like, you know, like at a comedy show though, if you're trying to be funny, like for example, I don't use the N-word like at all. Like I don't refer to my friends as the N-word ending with an A. I don't do that because that isn't how I talk.
Ninja?
Close, but any rate, no, but I will drop the N-bomb with an A if I'm quoting a black guy telling a story in a black room, and the audience has to be all black.
They're okay with that?
No, oh, they're totally cool with that because, like, you know, it's what I was called by a student. I was called.
Oh, you told me that.
Yeah. I told you that, and I was just off the record, and like on the record, you could get canceled. But everybody fucking laughed. Everybody had a good time, and then like I had Tony Sparks, the godfather of Bay Area comedy, also a black dude, black man, I should say. All due respect.
He's a black man. Dude. That's not disrespect. He's a dude. We're all dudes.
He's a dude. But he's a proud black man. And he's a good dude too. And so I asked him, I was like, hey Tony, hey, is this racist? He's like, no, baby. It's only racist if you got hate in your heart, baby. That's it. But I'm just like,
that's pretty good, Tony Sparks.
I don't got hate in my heart. I'm quoting a student because he called me a fat Mexican, and I'm just like, I've been called a fat Mexican, but never a fat Mexican. I was just like, dude, you are like, I mean, no, because dude, apparently, hella black people call me that, but nobody's ever told me that to my face. They have never, but this kid did. This kid
did. One had the guts.
You know what I got? So when I told this to a room full of black people at a comedy show, they went crazy. They went crazy, like seriously, like, oh, we call you that all the time. Oh my God, how are you just learning this? How, like, you know what I mean? This isn't news. How is this? This is so funny. What else are you learning about black culture? You didn't know that you were that. You didn't know you were. I was just like. But I kept pressing it, you know what I mean?
Here's a question that I don't see answered in popular culture is what natives aren't. I don't know if natives could be grandfathered and use the N-word because they used to be called timber N-word up in the north, up in Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Timber N-words?
Yeah. So does that give, you know, because a lot of black people say, hey, that's our word, you can't use it, don't drop.
Oh my God, hold on, there's another one that I heard that was also like it was a ice. An N-word, and it was for like or igloo N-word or Eskimo N-word. It was something horrible, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And I was just like, I'm surprised nobody's ever called me a taco N-word because that would be really offensive. Like I'm just like, dude, like it's just like you just add that word to anything and it makes it horrible. I'm just like, dude, that's a horrible word. But then like also though too, I don't like anyone using that word in any form with the A or with the R, especially with the R, especially with the R. But I mean, like with the A, because like, dude, I've been to shows like where there's a black comic and they say the N word like with the at the end, and like I'll see black people getting offended, like, hey, nobody should say that word. It's really hurtful. Like, you know, it's like it doesn't come from a good place. And even though a lot of people say they're using it to empower, you know, it still affects a lot of people, mostly white women. But I don't give a fuck about those white women. I care about black people that are offended by that word. Like, you know, if I heard,
Hey, Victor,
yeah,
hey, Karen lives matter.
dude, I actually say something about Karens in one of my stories. I talk on stage about why they're called Karens. They're called Karens because they're always caring about the wrong shit. And so it's just like, I'm just like you don't get like a fucking
I thought because they were carrying a lot of white guilt.
Did you just tag my joke, or did you come up with
all yours, brother?
Oh, you're the fucking
That's
best.
all yours.
Jesus Christ.
Serious, if you can use it.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna send you $50.
No.
You gotta come up. Okay, it's $50 a joke. So that was just the punchline. So I'll give you 25.
Punchline 50, tag 25.
Oh my god, that would be so great. It's just like I just give you my set just transcribed and just
Dude,
tag it.
Wouldn't that be a great sketch? You have like a comedy drive-through. And can I have your order, please? Yeah, I need 3 weed jokes. I need an alcohol joke to go and 2 heckler responses. Okay, pull up to the window. And then you actually
write that fucking sketch, Mark. Write that fucking sketch. That's fucking brilliant. That's actually really fucking funny. That's really fucking funny. And then like, dude, there's so many orders that can happen within this sketch because that's just one car. That's one car. That's one car. Like we're like, listen, I don't have to be involved in the sketch, but I will, as your friend, motivate you and tell you, hey, brother, you need to write this sketch to make it.
See how negative I hear my brain right goes, like I have to get people together, I gotta film it, I gotta put it up, and I gotta get it's like I like the idea, and then it's like that's why I don't do follow-through. That's why I'm not famous.
Then fucking write it down and fucking submit it, dude. Because dude, that's a funny fucking premise.
Who would I submit it to?
Like you would have to get like a writing packet to like SNL. I mean, there's always networks that are hiring right now.
Well, I mean, yes, but see, that's the thing is, I don't know if I want to be a net. I was trying to write during the pandemic. I was trying to get a late. I had a guy kind of help me with the late night packet, but then Bill Maher wasn't hiring any comics. I was going to submit.
What, dude? Yeah, that's so fucked up. And then like, I was so pissed off because like I can't prove it, but like. I went to the Comedy Store and I did all my stand-up comedy jokes about being a substitute teacher and having these kids that I hated. And then like about like 18 months later, there was a show that came out that was very similar to what I talked about with a very famous comedian.
You weren't feeling very fluffy about this situation?
I was feeling very, very, I don't know. I was feeling horrible, man. But yeah, you could say that I had to go to church or iglesia to cleanse my sins about it. But like, my point being is that people were like fucking like tagging me and sending me messages like, hey, you should write for the show. And I'm like, this is the ABC version of the fucking hilarious shit that I came up with. And like, I was like, what? They like literally changed everything, except they were like, you know what? We're just gonna keep the fat Mexican guy, but just, we're gonna use a more famous one. But and for the record, I'm not alleging that any comedian on that show stole ideas. I'm saying somebody fucking really, there's a good chance that somebody took that idea. But then also,
I told you we had one. I played a Native American comedian teaching citizenship classes. Some white supremacist comes on stage and I clock him with the mic stand. And I get sentenced to community service, which is teaching citizenship to new immigrants. And then there was Michael Cazada from Breaking Bad, Agent Gomez, and then Jerry Bednob, the Go Fuck a Goat guy from 40 Year Old Virgin. So we shot a pilot in New Mexico, and then it wasn't going anywhere. And then the producer and I had a falling out because he found out he had past legal issues with underage minors, evidently.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd have a falling out with somebody like
We're
that
done.
too.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Holy shit.
and then like then my buddy messaged me, hey, bro, I don't know if you saw this. There's this new show, Sunnyside. It's about this guy teaching citizenship class to new immigrants. It was a city, an Indian. He said, well, and I hadn't talked to this guy. So I emailed him, just so you know, blah, 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 came out, and it was very close to Art. I'll check that out. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to sue them. And I said, if I can find the submission, we're going to sue NBC and win. You're going to take on.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I'd be.
So again,
Netflix.
I can't.
Yeah. So it's just
short,
like you're crushed. You're crushed. But also the only silver lining to that is, you know what? I'm fucking funny enough. And I'm so creative enough that motherfuckers want to run with my idea. And you know what? I'm badass enough to come up with even more ideas that are as good or even fucking better. Because otherwise, you're just like, I'm never writing again. I'm never sharing again because everyone's just going to steal my fucking ideas. And I've had to come to terms with that. But like, honest to God, I've said this before. I've had a podcast idea stolen from me. I pitched it to a comedian. And they told me no, they weren't ready to record a podcast because they were depressed. And so I was like, it was a good idea. It was called the druggy doctor sit down. And so it's just like whoa, it's a drug addict doctor. No, it's a drug addict and a doctor talking about and like
it's
environmental,
kind of like Love Line for drug addicts.
Drug line, exactly. It's drug line. It's love line for losers, who do drugs and don't get laid because they'd rather get high. So, but anyway, like it had like ideas about environmental racism like going on all around the world.
It was serious stuff. I'm sorry.
No. But it was like no. This is just like an idea for one episode, and then like we talk about racism, and then we could talk about the fucking opioid crisis. And we could talk about like environment, like harm reduction, and like American public education system with drug education in the schools, and talk about like real life stuff, and talk of like interview like doctors, psychiatrists, like make it like a learning educational type of podcast. And so this person was like, no, I'm not really wanting to do it. And then like a few months later, this person with another comedian who has TV credits, they started doing that podcast. And I was just like, okay. I was hurt.
Did they steal the name too, or did they change it?
No, because like I was willing to, and by the way, I'm so glad that did not happen, because like if I had a podcast and I was the druggie, you know what I mean? That's not a good look. And I've been told by countless comedians like, hey, listen, bro, you might want to joke about it on stage, but like that's just leave it on stage. Don't talk about it on podcasts. Don't talk about like, and because then people like will see you as a liability, and then they won't book you on shows, or they're going to be skeptical about booking you on shows because, hey, are you going to OD in the bathroom?
You're a very responsible drug user.
Right. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just like I smoke weed and do edibles, and on occasion will drop acid and shit. But like, you know what I mean? Like my days of like,
that's 97% of comedians.
Right. I know. And then
you're not out of the box. And
right. Well, I mean, I'm California sober, as they call it. It's like you're not really sober, but
no
you're
alcohol,
like
just weed.
Well, I mean, alcohol sometimes, but like it's just like
that to me. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's just like I used to be bad in college. Like in college, I would drink like a bottle and a half of Glenlivet.
Where did you go?
UC Santa Cruz.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just like, and then I was living off campus, and like I was just like, my senior year, I like fell in love with this chick, and like it didn't work out. I was like, I think I'm gonna try heroin. And I was just like,
so that was you were self-medicating with the breakup.
That was my self-medicated from the like what could have been but didn't happen, and then she didn't like me back thing. And then so I was just like, I did heroin, and then it was great because I went from being heartbroken to being like, I don't feel any emotions at all. So that's the lure to heroin. That's the only reason I cannot be a motivational speaker, because if anyone's like, have you ever done any drugs, or what do you think about heroin? Because
we're supposed to be able to be like that, detached and not really be affected by anything, but in a sober state. So really, we're trying to replicate a heroin high without using heroin
on stage. And I'm not even
life.
But I'm talking about
like a
specifically.
Zen, type
Oh
of
yeah. Okay, you see,
distance.
you. I mean, I'm sorry, not. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like, but like the whole concept of getting the high from being on stage is what I
Oh,
was referring to.
I'm
But
sorry. I thought you were talking about you were just the
no,
Zen.
getting a natural high from like enjoying your environment, from like
Yeah.
appreciating
Oh,
the
that's yeah.
atmosphere,
That's
like the fact that from meditation and like
it
just
is
from being
euphoric. Yeah.
right. And it's like I've reached that bliss and just being in nature, being in the forest, being on the beach, being in the ocean, like being inside of being in a lake or by the mountains or whatever. I've felt that before. I felt the natural high, or of having like a meal that's so good, like you're just like, oh shit, is there opium in this food? Because I feel relaxed, and
Yeah.
this food was tasty. It was a little bit too tasty,
That's the power of nature. Yeah.
and that's what's beautiful about life. But I mean, like, what's beautiful about stand up is that high that you get on stage when you're killing it. That high you get on stage when everything's going great, and that high you get on stage when you're trying out that new fucking joke and it goes over and you fit it in perfectly in your routine, and it fit exactly where it needed to, and it was like it was too perfect. It was too perfect. It was like it feels like you've been doing that joke for years, exactly that way, but you just fine-tuned it a little bit, and it's just like now it's perfect. But in reality, you're just like still thinking, how can I make this perfect joke even better? And then like I
Yeah.
don't know, it's like you're driving yourself like I don't know about you, but me personally, like I could kill it, get off stage, and then go back to feeling like shit within a matter of minutes. Minutes. Even if I killed it and like chicks are coming up to me wanting to take pictures and you know make sex offers and shit. Like I'm just like, you wouldn't be talking to me if I wasn't funny. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, like get your pussy out of
That's the
my
thing,
face.
because you're disarming and you're friendly and lovable. It's you get people are attracted. They like that.
I mean, it's just like, where were these people when I was fucking single? And also, just no, but it's just like, it's not just that. It's just, it's just a matter of like, I don't know, being insecure. And, like, even when I do good, it's just like, it's just like, were they laughing at me? And it's just like, you got it on video. You did two fat jokes in 18 minutes. Like, they weren't laughing at, like, you know what I mean? They were
We're doing a
genuinely
bunch of
laughing.
self-deprecation and
And like sometimes when I talk about like, it's hard to lose weight, I don't know about the losing weight. They're like, oh, are you scared that if you lose weight that you're gonna have to change your routine? And I'm like, dude, I say that I look like a proud Samoan lesbian woman with a beard. I say I fuck my wife like an elephant. I say when I get pulled over by the cops, why am I sweating profusely? Because I'm fat as fuck. But other than that, I don't mention that I'm fat on
yeah, you
stage.
put it.
Other
Yeah,
than that, like, like I'll talk about teaching, I'll talk about, having shitty students, or making them learn Spanish, or my second grade teacher, how I drove her to drink. And like, I don't know, like there's just like a bunch of
yeah.
different things that I talk
That's good.
about.
That's why I don't have to do politics. That stuff's evergreen.
Right. So it's just like, but also though too, it's like so dated. Like if I'm like talking about something that's happening with Biden right now, and it's like, oh, that happened in late May,
Yeah.
early June of
And some
2022.
people know, and some people can do that, but you got to purge it. You can't keep, if you're going to be that, you better be writing new shit every day, because a week from now, that's news is
Old
old in 3
shit.
hours now.
Right. And yeah, no, I agree
We had the
100%.
Buffalo shooting, then there's the Texas shooting, and then there's the Amber Heard trial. Now it's this. It's like there's people, our attention spans like 7.5 seconds.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, with all these shootings that are going on, and it's like all these kids that are getting fucking shot, and then it's like I take it, it's so fucked up because it's like I almost put out this like very emotionally charged post after that tragedy that happened in Texas with the 19 people that got killed for that mass shooting at that elementary school. It's like, what type of fucking monster goes into an elementary school and kills a fucking second grade class? It's like, kill yourself, you piece of shit. And I have talked people out of suicide. I have failed suicide attempts under my belt. I know this when I say this with my heart. If you feel like fucking shooting up a fucking school with people in there, if the kids, kill yourself. Because to be honest with you, I'm a person that believes in second chances. I believe in harm reduction. But there's no second chances when you want to kill little kids like that. And people are like, oh, it's not a safe place to be a comedian anymore because of what happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith, and like all these comics that are like, our lives are on the line as comedians. It's like, okay, teachers and kids are getting murdered. I'm more endangered being in a fucking school than I am being on stage.
That being said, I'm telling you, this is, I don't even like bringing this up, but there's going to be an incident in a comedy club one of these days. Someone's going to just go nuts. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too. And you know what, dude? I've always been scared of that. And then I'm at some,
because you got, what do you have? You got a guy could be, talking shit. You got a guy that's drunk, that's already pissed, his girl or whatever, they broke up. She's not talking. We had a guy the other day in Oakland, at the Comedy Oakland. He was drunk because he was sitting at the bar before the show, and he starts just like, "What about the 19 kids?" He says, and Sam's in the house said, "Sir, I understand we had a tragedy. This is why we're here. We're trying to get a little relief from this." And then he goes, "COVID. Anyone have COVID?" And here goes this guy, "I had COVID." And then he starts trying to engage him, and he's drunk, and it's like, and it just got so bad. And then they had to kick him out, and it was just that whole.
Oh God! Yeah,
what do you leave these poor 19 kids out of? This has nothing to do with them.
I personally wouldn't even mention.
This is how you're coming. You're going to come to a comedy club. If you feel that bad, go down there and protest, or go volunteer to.
Go to church. Go to church.
What are you doing at a comedy club? Heckling the comedian. That's going to help bring solace to the families of the slaughtered children.
No, of course not. I mean, but also though too, who the hell goes to a comedy show and just brings up tragedies? Like, it's like, hey, motherfucker, this isn't an improv show where you're just shouting out, suggestions.
Yeah, if it was an improv show, worst thing to shut up. Okay, give me a subject. 19 children murdered. Oh yeah, great.
Jesus
yes,
Christ.
And
okay, you're the first person that's made that funny, which is horrible, but still hilarious.
It is, but it's and
only because I have a good sense of humor, and I know where your heart's coming from.
Yeah,
and I know you're not a fucking you're not like
it's beyond tragic. I've been a substitute teacher, and I've been coached and done all that, referee. I mean, dude, there's nothing worse. That's just so deep in his soul to take innocence of children. Like, what,
dude,
shoot your own grandmother,
right?
First of all, you shoot your own family member in the face.
Yeah, I mean, he really whatever. And then what's fucked up? The mom's on the news like, "Oh, my son's not a monster." It's like, yes, he is. He totally is. And then you know what? And I get it. A mother's love is a mother's love. And we could debate this all day, like what was going on. But in reality, his mental health was fucked up and he didn't get that checked out. Bottom line, because no matter what the fuck he was going through, if he would have got like hospitalized and institutionalized, and somebody would have talked to him, and somebody would have at least professionally showed interest in what the fuck he was what we're dealing with in his mind. Maybe there's a chemical imbalance. Maybe he was not taking his medicine, but who gives a fuck? He's fucking dead. And this tragedy is going to keep fucking happening over and over again. We're going to keep talking about it because it's just like, we love our fucking guns. But unfortunately, people love getting those guns and going into fucking schools and churches and shooting people up because they can't get laid or because they
thank you. That is the number one. All these guys are incels.
Right, they're like,
none of them had a fiance. They had a good job. They're
or married or anything,
right?
Like
his girlfriend. It said, he volunteered at the animal shelter. They never. No, there's.
It's just right. Or if they did, it was to fucking mutilate animals. These serial killer fucks, or to hurt the animal. Like, dude, like I don't know anybody that fucking hurts animals, but if
that
I
should
did,
be the death penalty, right? If you took care of him right then a child wouldn't be harmed.
I agree 100% because, like, I never fucking did anything like that. Like, that was like, ooh, I love animals.
I have to admit, I stepped on some ants in my day.
Okay, yeah, and I gotta admit, like, I magnified some ants by accident.
Yeah.
But we're all stupid kids sometimes. But like, I didn't do it like, oh yeah, I'm killing these. I was just like wondering what the fuck. But then I burned myself with it. I'm like, oh, I fucking killed him. I'm an idiot and I'm learning. And this is why I'm not supposed to play with a magnifying glass outside by myself or ever at any circumstance. But like, I don't know, this whole thing it's so fucked up because like, I fucking hate it. Like when like a beloved celebrity or dies or a national tragedy happens and a bunch of people die or something locally happens where somebody dies. And then you have to go do stand-up comedy and you have to pretend like everything's okay, all hunky-dory, like nothing happened. And you're just like,
I
you know,
remember
just
doing, I remember doing a show the Friday after 9/11 with Joe Klosek up in Blue Lake.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
And he
Wait,
did a good
where?
job. And I was like, yeah, it was weird. You know, I thought he handled it really well. I'm not sure I did. It was just like, I don't really want to do comedy. I'm like, yeah.
Dude, who the fuck wanted to do anything? We got a football game canceled that Friday.
Yeah, it was like,
Like,
it was
it's on a
like,
Tuesday.
and
And
they decided, yeah, we're still going to do the show. It might have been the following Friday, but I think it was the first Friday after the 9/11.
dude, nonetheless, that's still like very, very like, oh my God, who the fuck could have done stand? And then like a comedy was pretty much canceled in New York. And
All the
like,
shows got canceled, the Broadway, all the like Letterman, all the late night counts shut down.
oh my God, yeah. And then it's so fucked up because I was in high school when that shit happened. And so like our football game got canceled. They canceled The Simpsons for 2 weeks. And like I was just like, what the fuck's going on? Like, because like, but then when I went to college and I met people from the East Coast and we started talking about 9/11 and how they were, it's like, dude, you don't understand the fucking frenzy of trying to get in contact via cell phone. And this is 2001. Not everybody had a cell phone. So everybody, so like lines were clogged up. People were not able to communicate or get in contact with anybody because it was like New Year's Eve when you're trying to make a call to wish everyone Happy New Year's and it's busy. You can't do it. It was worse than fucking New Year's because people were calling endlessly to make sure everyone was okay. And so there was like this like huge telephone jam. And then like with all the radios going on and all this, like, it was just really fucked up. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew it was fucked up prior to having these conversations, but like, you know, it's like, and my brother was in college and, you know, his dorm was right there in Manhattan, right there by Ground Zero. And like, you know, we didn't know he was at his girlfriend's house. And if he wasn't at his girlfriend's house, he would have probably died at least by now from all the cancer, from all the particles and all. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit. And then there's these assholes that are, I mean, the Hugh Hefner roast on Comedy Central came out, or the Drew Carey roast, it was one of those two, had just come out when 9/11, I think it was the Hugh Hefner roast had just come out when 9/11 had just happened. And I was like, how the fuck are you gonna do comedy? And then they did. And then like Drew Carey went on this fucking rant about like, I don't know, about terrorists and how they could suck his dick. And it was funny because you're not expecting Drew Carey to say, yeah, they could suck my dick, or just something like that. It was like really like not clean. And it's like, oh shit, it's a roast. You get to see some of your favorite comedians, like, or television personalities, like, because I knew Drew Carey from the Drew Carey show, you know. So it's like, oh shit, he swore. Oh my god, maybe it is okay to laugh again, you know, or like.
But I came up with this idea. That was one of my many failed comedy ideas. Is like roast your city, or roast your state, where you like you want to do a fundraiser, then you'd hire us, and I bring, you know, I got a silver package, a gold package, but we write all the jokes for the dais people, and you know, ghostwrite for them. And they go up and like cap on the mayor and make fun of the police chief and everything. But it's like,
dude, I kind of feel like Jeff Ross stole your idea because like that dude is like anything that's roastable, he will roast. It's like roasting. Like I did see that he roasting prisoners. And that shit was fucking hilarious.
Live from that Pecos County jail. That was a good. So that's one of the ones that's one of my bucket list things, but I don't really pursue it because I've had no luck getting through to. I want to do a comedy class in penitentiary, you know, because my birth father was locked up for a lot of years and never met the man, but just, and you know, they say comedy comes from pain. So who has more pain than people who've been incarcerated a long time? So write some classes, let them develop some jokes, shoot a special in the prison where the prisoners perform in front of the other prisoners.
Dude, that's a great idea. Pursue that, man. That's a multi-million-dollar idea, man. Laugh sentence, dude. I don't fucking normally censor my podcast. I think I might censor that name.
Yeah.
You want to censor that? Because I will. I really will. Okay, then fuck it. I won't. Completely uncensored. You know what?
If they steal that, I'll know how to track them down.
We'll find them through their fucking IP address, these fucking steely fucks. No, but that really is a great idea. I'm not like one of these people that like, oh yeah, it's great. And
No.
I secretly think it's shitty. Dude, that's really it. It's also inspiring.
I
And
think it would
like,
be so good. Yeah, it would be. It
like,
might,
dude, like, and also this could be either a documentary or a
Maybe a
series.
special or a series.
Or
Yeah.
yeah,
And then all the
exactly.
money will go to victims' rights. I'm not making any money. I'll take I'll take the fame credit. I'll take that for free if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
helps. But the money, I'm not
yeah.
talking any money. The prisoners don't get paid. They can do restitution to the victims of whoever they might have,
You fucked
uh,
over. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And you know what? That's so selfless. And like, it's just like the majority of people, when they come up with ideas like, to make a television show or a film or documentary or anything like that. It's just like, bottom line, it's just like, I want to get paid. But, the most important thing is to have people see what you can do. So they want to see more of that because
Thank
you've
you.
proven to them, hey, this is what I could do. And so it's like really inspiring, because like I've only ever seen you clean on TV and on the internet. And when
Well,
I
I'm
see you,
mostly clean, even in person. I mean, I
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like when I befriended you, so that I was like, this guy might not want to befriend me back, but we're cool as fuck. And I was just like, I'm one of the dirtiest motherfuckers on the planet. I'm also one of the most truthful motherfuckers on the planet, but like, which is good and bad. But like, I really like, I'm really blessed because also the two, my friend Mario the Butcher Montez was telling me about you for years, and I was like, I haven't met him, but like if my boy Mario said, he's like, dude, this dude's a murderer, 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 and like the way he says murderer, it's like he's not fucking around. He's like, this guy's a fucking
This is a man
murderer.
who's butchered meat for a living, so I take that as a real sincere compliment.
He's a fucking murderer. He's a murderer on stage.
Well, he gets them already dead. Just be honest. Maybe
Yes,
I don't know. Maybe he's butchered live animals. We can't.
yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I've never asked him that.
What if
a
that
good
was his
question.
really Mario the Butcher was like his assassin name? We thought all these years he was like cutting meat at
Oh my god,
at
dude!
Whole Foods, and he was like a fucking Sicario.
Oh my god, some of the stories Mario's told me, like off
Now
the
he's a
record,
witness protection in New York. Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Oh
Come
my
on,
god.
think about it.
That's why he
Think
went to
about
New
it.
York.
You think he?
Oh
You
my
think?
god.
Hey, you think he can afford New York, Manhattan, living on a butcher's salary? Come on.
Oh my god.
We have to share this with you. You're gonna
Dude,
kick.
I think we're gonna have to really like cut that part out because I don't want to get murdered by the butcher. That's for sure. No, I'm just fucking around. No,
We're just joking, Mario.
we're
Really.
just total joke. Like like opinions expressed on Poppycock podcasts are not always based in reality and are oftentimes fictitious accounts of what reality could be in a parallel
It's been
universe.
great being on the show. My name's Larry Omaha. Thanks for having me. Mario the Butcher. What a, that's such a great name. That's such a great name for comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, is that a real name?
Well, his name is Mario, but Mario the Butcher. I mean, that's a great.
Oh no, the Mario the Butcher. No, it's so funny because one time I left out the butcher on a flyer, and I was like, Mario, hey, is this cool? And like he's like, yeah, it's cool. But I kind of could tell it was not cool. I was like, let me just fix this really quick. He's like, no, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I was just like, let me just fix this dog. Let me just. No, listen, I didn't make the flyer. It was my sister-in-law who made it.
Mario, I don't want to get filleted over this thing. Okay?
I know exactly, man. It was so funny because, dude, he's got some fucking meat hooks, bro. Like from cutting all that fucking meat.
He's a former Marine. No, you're not former Marine. He's a Marine.
He's a Marine,
Okay.
yeah. He's
Marine for life.
absolutely, yeah. But he was, fuck, man. That's he's hell of a dude. One time it was so funny because I was telling him about like some problems I was having, and he's like, you know how easy it is to make mustard gas? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? He's like, yeah, it's really easy. They taught us in the Marines. I was like, well, they taught you that in the fucking Marines? He's like, yeah, bro, they taught us this shit. Just like, you're a scary motherfucker, bro. Wow. You're really scary. And then thank God, he's my friend. It's not like, oh, and that guy hates me. And he says next time he sees me, he's gonna fucking butcher me up now. But like, no, it's just like I've really met a lot of great people in stand-up, and I'm really blessed to continue meeting a lot of great people in stand-up like yourself, and like add the opportunity because I saw that you were gonna be in Burbank, and I was like, this man is gonna be like 15 minutes away from my house.
Well, thanks for coming out. Yeah.
Why don't I just go and see what's up with. And you know what was because I didn't know when you were going in the lineup, so I was prepared to be there the whole show. And so when you finished your set and you were done and you were like, I'm down to go get food now, I was like, dude, hell yeah, man. And like, you know, it's like, you know, you're in good shape, but you got the mind of a fat guy, and like I really appreciate that. You're
That's
like,
the
that was
problem.
sweet.
This is one of the problems with comedy is you get too much access to bar food and alcohol, and I go on cruise ships and it's all this free food. So it's constant struggle to
Well, dude, and then I saw
good problem to have, right?
I looked up your Wikipedia and I saw the year you were born. I was like, that guy looks great. Like seriously, you know what I mean? I know it was Wikipedia, so they might lie, they ain't lying. But I was just like, no. So I'm not trying
They
to.
outed me. Yeah.
I outed you. I was just like, this interview's over. What's
It's
it
probably
called?
past his bedtime.
For the record, it's 6:30 p.m. I'm just kidding. No, it's 7:53. No, but like, I really do. I did have a good time hanging out with you, and gonna go, and we went to go eat, and we had Mediterranean food, and it was like, it was awesome, man. It was like such
The
a fun time.
hummus, we had you had the falafel. You had falafel.
I had falafel, baby. Yes,
Oh, falafel, fantastic falafel. Burbank, you're in Burbank. You have the falafel.
and then no, do not forget the hookah.
They have hookah.
We have hookah with hookers. And no, I'm just kidding. There was no hookers with a hookah. But like I was reading this book. It was a book on tape, and they kept they kept saying hookah. It kept saying hookah, hookah. And I was just all like, oh, he's puffing on that hookah. And I'm just like, wow, he's that's how they stay cunnilingus. Wow. And then I read it, I read the book, I read it, and it's hookah. And I'm like, this fucking British narrator just fucked up the whole image I have in my head because it's totally sexual, and now it's just actual hookah. But anyway, it was a learning experience.
Someone has to straighten your twisted mind out.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that's going to be. You know, the doctors try to do it with medicine, and that is not work at all. So you know, it's just like,
the stage is your therapist, my friend.
The stage is my therapist, but just fair warning out there: don't go out there talking about your fucking problems your first few years of stand-up comedy, because you're just complaining and you need to go to therapy. But once you know how to craft a joke and know how to tell a story, then you can complain on stage and make it funny. But before you can learn how to do that, don't pursue because like when you complain about your relationship, when you talk about suicidality, when you talk about problems with your missus at home, when you talk about stuff like, I mean, like really, like it can polarize a crowd. It could really, like, you don't know what the fuck anyone's going through. You don't know if that couple in the front row that look all lovey-dovey, you don't know what's going on at home. You don't know if he's verbally or physically or abusive towards her, and they're just putting up this front because you're picking on them in the front row. So like, I just go out to these shows with the assumption that everybody's sad, and I want to make them happy, or at the very least, have them forget about their problems and listen to my problems that I make funny, or talk about my observations that I make funny, or my past experiences that I make funny. So, or that it's just so absurd that it's funny. And so, you know, get your mind off of like whatever you're going through, like, you know, regardless of, I mean, because we all go through horrible things, you know, you find out that, you know, something horrible's happened to somebody you love. And it's just like, I've had that happen so many times. And I've had, you know, this background with not the most savory people. So I know a lot of people who have died prematurely, whether it was, you know, drug overdose or suicide or murder.
Don't let your UC Santa Cruz degree fool you.
Right? Yeah, absolutely not. I mean,
man of the streets.
Man of the street. But you know what's fucked up? The majority of the people I just mentioned I knew them from elementary school and middle school, from the suburb I grew up in San Carlos, California. And so, which is the same city Dana Carvey and Diane Feinstein. We all went to the same elementary school, not the same years.
Yeah, but, you look way younger than Feinstein. Right?
Yeah, and I look about the same age as Dana Carvey, but I got better hair. But what was it called? Yeah, man, it's so crazy. I love this journey. I love how you and me cross paths, and like you're my new friend, and I do actually respect the fuck out of you as a human being and as a comedian. And so like, I'm really, really happy that I got to share
Well,
this
I'm looking
time
forward to working with you again. I'm not sure I
Yeah.
want to follow. I'm not sure I want to follow you because you're fucking
The
beasting
fuck
it on
out of
stage.
here.
But
Oh,
you know,
that's hilarious.
no,
That's a compliment coming from you because like, and for the record, no, baby, I'm gonna make it hot and you're gonna make it melt. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, with the crowds, and I do look forward. We're definitely gonna work again together. It's gonna be fucking fun. It's gonna be a really good time. If I get something going, I'll ask you if you're available or nearby or
we'll
whatever.
brainstorm some stuff. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
And
hope I
so
can pull you
yeah,
on.
definitely want to go get some more Mediterranean food with you. Maybe
Everyone
we
gets to listen to some Zoom podcast networking right now. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Next time we smoke the hookah. We do
We
the
smoke a
hookah.
hookah, yes, with some hookahs. But yes, last question: where can the people find you at home?
The people find me at home. My address, write this down. No. In their home, in the comfort of their home, they go to the laughwithmark.com.
Laughwithmark.com,
Yep.
and that's MARC.
C. Yep. Insta and Twitter, all that. At Marc Yaffee. MARCYAFFE. It's just better to laugh with Mark because my name's hard to spell. So
Laugh
on my
with
website.
Mark.
Got
Laugh with Mark. Laughwithmark.com, and I'm gonna hyperlink all of that in the description when I release it, so people can just click on it and they don't have to type shit in because everyone's fucking lazy. If I could just, put the hyperlink and they just click in it, boom, they could follow you. Boom, they could, so it's just like I'll put all that stuff. I'll put all that good stuff on there. I'll link your website.
I get so frustrated because I try to do, I got like Mark, it's a Marc Yaffee, so I'll do laugh with Mark. Laugh what? LAFF? No. Laugh at Mark? No. Laugh with Mark. Laugh when Mark? No. Laugh with Mark. Mark, M-A-R.
Dude, that's why I have HispanicTitanic.com.
HispanicTitanic.com.
And I swear to God, I'm like, if you guys like me, check me out at HispanicTitanic.com, and people, I'll get a laugh. I can close with that. And I'm Victor Pacheco. That's my time. And
how about the next one? Latino Bambino.
Latino Bambino. Dude, somebody has to have that fucking. If not, I will take it, and then that will hyperlink to Hispanic Titanic. I'll just take that.
That's what you do. You can point like 20 domain names.
You just have to buy them all and pay for them all. It does add up. I wish I was a baller like that.
You know what? I'm not a hoarder in real life, but I'm like a domain hoarder. I've got like 50 domain names from all these ideas I've had.
I almost bought the domain
talk about the next podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I almost bought the VictorPachecoIsGay.com just in case, so nobody else would get it. I was just I don't know what the fuck
I hate Victor.com.
I can live with that, but VictorPachecoIsGay.com is just, that's misrepresentation. Okay, it's a vicarious. Anyway, no, I'm perfectly straight, but I appreciate beauty, and I'm confident with my sexuality. So, and I'm like fuck it, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me neither. So you know what I mean? It's like, dude, where the fuck do you sometimes I try to dress nice. I'll look at what a dude is wearing and try to wear what this dude's wearing. So if that counts as checking out a dude, then I guess I checked out a dude. But you know what I mean? Everybody wants a title. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm bisexual, so now I can do all these LGBT shows, okay? Okay? If anyone asks Mark, I blew you. And that's how we're gonna end the show. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm
that's why you came to Burbank, huh?
I wanted to suck more than that hookah. Let me tell you what, buddy. Why do you think I got the check, baby? I'm just kidding. No, brother. Did we order? I didn't order a hummus. I ordered a Hummer. Motherfucker. What the fuck is this shit? I don't want to spread this. I want him to spread this. Anyway, laughwithmark.com. I'm gonna hyperlink that in the iTunes, the Spotify, the YouTube, and I'll tag you when it's all released. It's going to be in a few weeks. I'm going to release it every Tuesday.
And they go right on my website. They can see my whole dry bar special on there for free.
Oh, nice.
Commercial interruption. Yeah.
Because that's how you want to watch comedy. It's like, I'm really getting into it.
Free.
And then there's there's three? There's three. Okay. Well,
no, I said that's how we keep it free.
Free. I thought you said, and there's three. There's three commercials in your special.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, there's at least one. Yeah, no, thank you for being here, Mark. I love you so much.
Right.
Thank you for being my brother.
brother.
And I'll see you soon, man. Thanks for doing the
Yeah.
podcast, man.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, do your boy a favor. Tell your friends, tell your cool family members, tell your cool coworkers. Let them know about the podcast and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and be sure to follow me on all social media, Puro Papi Pacheco, and check out my website at HispanicTitanic.com for future dates. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.